There is no such thing as a wizard game. Yep, there are certainly a lot of third-person shooters masquerading around as wizard games, and there is also an infinite amount of RPGs with some half-baked footnote DLC-looking magic systems. But it's like my boy Joe Biden always says, just because you put syrup on something doesn't make it pancakes. Just putting magic in your game does not make it a wizard game, but what if you design every single aspect of your game specifically with magic combat in mind? There is almost no such thing as a wizard game. 99% of these so-called wizard games just add a little bit of syrup on top of some other random BS and try to call it pancakes. And even within that 1% of games that genuinely can hold the title, sometimes you get a masterpiece that you wind up playing for literally hundreds of hours, and sometimes you get Forspoken. It would be years before a proper wizard game showed up that actually lets you roleplay as Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White and Monty Python and the Holy Grail's Black Knight. And it was called Magicka 2, baby. Holy shit, this game is awesome. Magicka 2 is the ultimate, wait, how did I just do that, game? There are so many spells in this game, like literally a million billion spells. Even after beating the whole ass game and going back for footage, I am still finding new combos and elemental reactions. What the fuck? Take a look at this boring default water spell. Fucking sucks, right? Now add just one rock to that and boom, it's a geyser. And now that everyone's wet, you can basically just two-shot them with electricity. Finding and abusing little tricks like this is the core of the game. Your ability to survive for more than 8 seconds in Magicka 2 is completely dependent on your ability to recognize and cast the best spell for any given scenario, and almost every single one of them is useful at one point or another. What the?
Oh my god.
What the hell did you do? The coolest thing about Magicka 2 is that there are no upgrades. You never get a new robe or staff that explicitly makes you do more damage. You just discover better spells and better scenarios to use them in. The developers are constantly forcing you to deepen your understanding and mastery of the magic system to overcome increasingly challenging threats. And by the end of the game, you are just going crazy with this shit. I also love that this game is fundamentally designed from the ground up to be played with friends. Not only do they make jokes about it in the story, but the difficulty is also way more manageable. Some of the spells require 2 people, and they literally don't even let you turn team damage off. That's me. Good night, Louis.
Why?
I knew this game was going to be special after we spent literally 40 minutes in these starting towns just figuring out spells only to instantly forget everything the second we had to actually fight something. Okay,
It's not working.
Oh shit, I'm so confused right now.
I'm not ready for this.
But that's the fun part. It can certainly be daunting at first, but it's pretty easy to pick up once you start memorizing spells and figuring out some combos. Get a group of 4 homies to play this on hard difficulty with you, and it is, without a sliver of hyperbole, the best co-op wizard game on the market. Wait, what is this? What the hell is this? I hereby take back my entire last video. This is the new best game trailer.
In the last trailer, we blew up a cat.
The unfortunate tragedy with this game is that there will never, ever be a Magicka 3 because this game sold like ass, and it's up to the rest of the industry to pick up the pieces. Which, oh my god, is where CrossCode comes in. I'm probably, definitely, certainly stretching the definition of a wizard game with this one. Like, there's not a single mention of wizards or magic or spells in the entire game. The whole thing takes place inside of a futuristic sci-fi world, and I can't even equip a pointy hat for my character. But I mean, like, come on, just look at it. If that's not a wizard game, then Obama isn't president. When you start off, all you have is this basic, boring-ass, gross neutral mode until you beat this one guy, and it goes... and everything changes. Fire is all about high attack damage and closing distances. Ice is for defense and punishing enemies that try to follow you. Shock is all about movement speed and flanking. Wave is for pussies. Each and every element feels completely unique and powerful in its own way, but the best part about them is that you can swap between them instantly. 1 second you're on shock, weaving in and out of enemies, building up your SP, then boom, you break someone's armor and you're pouncing like a jaguar with flame to deal massive damage. But fuck, you take a bad hit, so you gotta switch to ice, and welcome to Fort Knox, you goddamn son of a bitch! You are never forced to focus on just one type of combat. As a matter of fact, the game actively encourages you to use them all equally. Not even Wizard of Legend had a combat system this complex and satisfying. Oh yeah, by the way, this game called Wizard of Legend is my personal favorite wizard game. I talk about it more in this video if you're interested. It makes you wish this entire game was just combat, but unfortunately, they decided to add a French character, and for that reason, I'm out. Every complaint I have with CrossCode essentially boils down to one thing: the pacing. This is a 15-hour game stretched out to be 30, and the whole game suffers because of it. First of all, the elements take forever to unlock. You don't get the first one until like the 3-hour mark if you rush, and then another 3 until you get ice. Then there's this huge 5-hour gap until you get shock and wave. They are constantly throwing some stupid-ass story reason at you for why you can't just get back to the fun part. Oh shit, the bunny got loose! Quick guys, let's stop everything we're doing to catch this dumbass bunny. Oh no, the electricity is acting up. Shit. Yeah, guys, let's go fight some poles for 20 minutes. Hell yeah. Who the fuck cares? cares, man? Nobody cares. Just let me get the Kamehameha wave already. Also, the map is way too big. I can't even count the ridiculous amount of empty, soulless screens with no use outside of a few side quests. And of course, I gotta put something in there, so you wind up with a bunch of copy-pasted, reskinned enemies all over the place instead of mini-bosses or bosses, which are way more fun to fight. I cannot even begin to fathom trying to beat this game without my copious horde of gamer subs. Let me level with you guys real quick. It is finals week right now. I am stressed as fuck. I have a billion assignments due by the end of the week, and if I want to continue eating food, I need to get this video out. TLDR, I am not sleeping and I need caffeine, but the absolute last thing that I need during all this is some sugar-blasted, Parkinson's-inducing, lifespan-shortening energy drink from hell to ruin my focus and make me feel like a complete piece of shit. And that's where Gamer Subs comes in. Gamer Subs is a great-tasting, quick-acting energy drink that won't give you jitters, and because there's no sugar, it won't lead to some massive crash that makes you feel even more tired than before. It's way cheaper than other energy drinks, and it tastes better than literally all of them. Code STELLAR for 10% off. Back to the video. Even if you do try one of the brain-liquefying side quests, you'll just be rewarded with some lame stat buff or consumable. The puzzles are all fun in a vacuum, but again, they stretch this orb ricochet gimmick out like 8 times as long as they should. And don't even get me started on the story. Okay, I actually kind of like the story, but it also takes way too long to get to the interesting point. Potential wizard game pitfall number 1, locking too many spells away for a majority of the game. You feel like a fucking baby bitch for almost 3/4 of this game just spamming the same spells because you don't have access to much else, versus Wizard of Legend where you can find and use almost any spell in the game right from the start. There's some RNG here and there to keep each run different, but every combo in the game is technically always available to you, but only by gaining a deeper understanding of the game's systems can you fully harness them. That is how you make progression satisfying. Now at this point you're probably thinking, what about Noita? Yeah, that basically sums up Noita. I went back and gave the game another 10 hours and I gotta say, I still don't really like it. My biggest issue with the game is that it's split into 2 distinct sections, using wands and creating wands. These 2 sections, they don't mix. You can't create new combos on a dime to deal with special circumstances. You just spend 30 minutes in this dumbass temple creating a wand, which, you know, good luck with that, and then you go try it out in this other area. If you mess up here, you're fucked here. You create your combos in advance rather than freestyling them to fit each scenario, which I think makes the game less dynamic. It's the disconnect between these 2 modes that I don't like. And also all the one-shots. Why does everything in this game one-shot me, man? What the heck? Oh, shit. Noita is rewarding once you figure out some cool wands, but I like being able to string together shit on the fly, testing out new combos and spells constantly. Is it objectively bad? No. I just tend to gravitate more towards the fast-paced games where there's more focus on moment-to-moment encounters instead of intense planning and fiddling around in menus. However, I would rather spend 1,000 more hours in Noita than 1 more hour in this pile of rotten turkey meat. Did I feel guilty just recording this because now future me has to go back and play more of this shitty-ass game to get the footage? Yeah, fuck you, dude. This sucks. The only thing worse than the voice acting is the story and how it's presented. The movement is clunky as fuck. It's embarrassingly easy, and they charged me $70 for a game I beat in 10 hours, man. How is this not a crime? I just want to forget that I ever played this. Anyways, now that you guys are pitying me, I'd like to direct your attention towards the subscribe button if you don't mind. The combat can be fun, but there's like 10 enemies in the game, and they're all just boring health sponges. Strategy? A comatose garden gnome could beat Forspoken. You just spam all of your abilities the second they come off cooldown without a care in the world. Number 2, letting combat devolve into mindless button mashing. I much prefer this game that came out last week called Mageseeker. Silas cannot cast spells very fast by himself. He's gotta build up this meter first by punching enemies with one of his 4 melee attacks, which by the way, he can also infuse with magic if he hits a combo. What's really cool though is that Silas can steal spells from his enemies and use them for free. This creates a super interesting dynamic between player and enemy where you want to get up close and start whacking to charge your spells, but you never want to just mash an enemy to death because you need its spell to take out the rest of the enemies. It is insanely satisfying to zip back and forth stealing spells and obliterating people. The only thing that doesn't really work is the boss fights. There's usually no other enemies to take elements from, so you just gotta kind of sit there whacking it in between dodging attacks. I also would have put a much larger emphasis on elemental combos and opposites, like really force me to think about each and every scenario instead of just stealing spells for the DPS. And there's day 1 DLC which locks 3 spells. What the fuck, you guys? And shit, I forgot to make a generic joke about how bad League of Legends is. God dang it, dude. I'm sorry, guys. I'll tighten it up from now on. And with this, that's all the new Wizard games that I played. Yep, there were no other games that came out since the last video. And my $10 patrons, hey, I'm Turtle, Jacques Logan, Shade, Maximus, Meat, Mighty Fall, People Nutter, Rux, Roll, Fly 27, Social Streamers, Thick Mulder, Time Traveling Ferret, and Unfunny Skeleton all agreed that I did a great job covering every major Wizard game release. Make sure to buy Magicka too. Okay, bye. Okay, fine, I'll talk about Hogwarts Legacy. What the fuck? Playing Hogwarts Legacy is like going to a church, like a really cool looking Victorian or Gothic era church. I love looking at old churches, man. The things people were able to build all the way back in the 1100s without any modern machinery is insane. But you can spend like 1 or 2 hours in these places max, you know what I'm saying? Once you look at all the pretty architecture, there's not really much to do. You might find a 6-year-old stick figure doodle in one of the prayer books if you're lucky, but that's about it. That is what Hogwarts Legacy is like. Every single corridor, room, painting, statue, and staircase is brimming with life, passion, and creativity. Every single location, inside or outside the castle, is just like, oh my god, it's the lake! But just like those churches, once you've seen all of Hogwarts, Hogsmeade, and the Forbidden Forest, there's like nothing to do. For example, in Breath of the Wild, it's obvious that they spent way more time giving you reasons to explore and making exploring satisfying, rather than making the places you explore all that visually impressive. No matter where you go, there is a chance that you might stumble across a dope new shrine, a powerful new weapon, or a complex new side quest. In this game, there are no rewards. Literally, all progression is locked behind the main quest. Any amount of exploring will lead to either a randomized cosmetic that you replace in 1 hour or a field guide page. What do those do? Check this out. You see that number? Yeah, they make that go up. Fucking secret cave, hell yeah. What the hell? It's like a fucking dungeon or something. And in terms of combat, this game is easier than beating a blind baboon at chess. I put in over 20 hours on the hardest difficulty available, and I think I've died like maybe 3 times maximum. The health potions are insanely OP, and you might as well just turn the game off once you unlock the dodge upgrade. I don't even think I've taken damage since I got this shit. Most spells have absolutely zero personality, and trying to cycle through them with the scroll wheel is way too imprecise. But the worst part of the combat is without a doubt the enemies. In Magicka 2, every single enemy behaves in a unique and complex way. Some of them chase you down while others snipe from far away. Some jump on you, some try to corner you. This guy will just sure to pick you up and throw you. You have to be acutely aware of all the different enemy types and their elemental strengths and weaknesses to formulate a strategy for taking them all down. Meanwhile, in Hogwarts Legacy, they just kind of stand there. Pretty much every single fight just boils down to you spam clicking a health sponge while you wait for it to excrete some blue raspberry gamer stuff so you can finish it off a little bit quicker. Number 3, enemies that don't interact with the magic system enough. But hey guys, at least the story was good, right?
There's gotta be another way to get up to the roof. Somewhere.
What about your fucking broom, you stupid son of a bitch? Nope. Also, they showed off a review from Sports Illustrated in their post-launch trailer. I have so many questions about this, but instead of asking them, I'd like to instead give a message to Supergiant Games. Mess up Hades 2, and I'll mess up your bones. Okay, bye.